Hello, are you following the stock markets? Well, in this video I talk about the performance of 5 themes that I follow in companies listed on the Amsterdam Stock Exchange and are part of the large cap and mid cap index. I am Jimmy Lapping, a psychologist and statistician with loads of interest in a variety of research topics, including the financial markets, and none of the content of this video should be viewed as investment or trading advice. I just like to share some analysis and show what you can do yourself as part of your own research if you know how to use open source programs such as R, Python, Jasp, and Jamovi. So here you see the results of a network analysis of 17 stocks that I follow, some of which I also invest in, that in my view, based on both thematic and multi-year historical performance, can be grouped into 5 themes: semiconductors, industrials, chemicals, metals, and energy. On the left, you see a so-called correlations network in which the nodes represent the companies and the lines represent correlations. Negative correlations would appear as red lines, but here all the lines are blue, which means positive correlations, and thicker lines indicate stronger correlations than thinner lines. Now on the right you see the same network, but with an estimator that helps to understand which are the most important connections in this network. And the data that has been used to create these networks are not the actual stock values, but the percentages of gain or loss on a daily basis. When you use actual stock values, you have to deal with patterns of very strong serial correlations in the data, whereas when using the percentages of daily gain or loss, you get rid of this serial correlation pattern reasonably well. Now, the time window for this analysis is 1 year, or the last 52 trading weeks to be precise, which results in 256 trading days. It's not a very large sample, but given the correlation patterns, fair enough for the kind of analysis I'm interested in. The semiconductor theme comprises ASM International, ASML, and PE Semiconductor Industries. The industrial theme includes Aalberts, Alfen, and Signify. The chemical theme encompasses AkzoNobel, Corbion, IMCD, and OCI. Next, the metal theme holds the 2 steel companies Aperam and ArcelorMittal, as well as the critical materials company AMG. And finally, Fugro, SBM Offshore, Shell, and Vopak together constitute the energy theme. Now let's have a look at how each of these themes perform. And before I do so, you may wonder why on earth I focus on these themes and not just on overall stock indices like the AEX or AMX, which are the overall indices for large and mid cap respectively in Amsterdam, or the S&P 500 in the US, for instance. One reason for my approach here is that the overall indices include all sectors and industries, regardless of how they are related in terms of content or historical performance, whereas my analysis shared in this video cluster in terms of both content and historical performance. And a second reason for my approach is that the overall indices such as the AEX and AMX are quite heavily weighted towards a select group of stocks, whereas as an investor or trader in individual stocks like myself, you may want to use your own weights, and therefore I prefer to also perform analysis in which themes like the ones discussed in this video have equal weights for the companies included. So let's start with the semiconductor theme. Here you see the day chart of closing prices adjusted for dividend. This is important. All the charts I'm going to show you in this video have been adjusted for dividend. So they show the adjusted close, dividend adjusted close. And so you see that, here a while ago it looked like the rally that started earlier in the year came to a grinding halt, but recently we have seen a renewed rally. This rally is also visible in the week chart, so you see that it started about 7 weeks ago, and here the block chart, which groups the data in blocks of 4 weeks and includes a dashed trend line from which it seems that we remain in somewhat of an uptrend. In fact, the lowest point of the 4 weeks that just finished, the last block, the block on the right, is more or less the same as the highs of 4 of the 5 previous blocks. In short, it seems to be looking pretty well. Next, industrials, one of the themes that got hammered during most of the year, although we have seen a clear push up from the recent low. Here in the week chart, you see that the move up started around 7 weeks ago, as we just saw also holds for the semiconductor theme. And even in the last 4 weeks, we have seen a mild move up. Now here in the block chart, you see how the last block kind of deviates from the trend from the previous blocks, which is good news, although we still have not reached the highs of 4 to 5 blocks ago. So let's see if the recent upward momentum continues. Next, chemicals, starting with the day chart. Pretty similar, this one to what we just saw for the industrials theme. However, contrary to the industrial theme, it seems that the move up from the recent low has been short-lived. In the week chart here, you see lower highs in recent weeks, which is in line with the overall trend of lower highs and lower lows, hence a downtrend. And this downtrend is also clear in the block charts. This is almost like a good place for downhill skiing. Okay, metals, day charts, faced resistance earlier in the year twice, and we have seen considerably lower levels since. That said, it's early stage, but it seems that we have started to move away from that recent low. Here, the week chart, which tells us that the recent attempt to move away from that low started around 4 weeks ago, and since then we have seen higher highs and higher lows. However, as I said, that recent move up is still early stage, and here you see that the recent downtrend has not yet been broken. Finally, energy, starting with the day chart. This one is slightly higher now than a year ago. Happy to have been invested in some way in this sector this year. Although we see that the pattern of higher highs and higher lows from earlier this year no longer holds. And we have seen a lower high and, well, a low similar to the previous two lows. Week chart, similar story, not much different here. And finally, the block chart. Well, here we see that the trend has started to flatten. So the question is, will this be going sideways from here for a bit? We will see in the next few weeks. Okay, that's it for this video. Hope you find this useful, and if you have any ideas or suggestions for future videos, you can leave a comment below this video or just drop an email using the email address shared below this video. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, have a good week, and see you soon.